Hi Chris, thanks for having us back again. It's really good to speak to you last week and understand more about the hydrogen combustion technologies and the hybrid hydrogen technologies that you're doing. One thing that I've been thinking of since we spoke about that though is, these applications, maybe airside support vehicles. I know that ULEMCo are specifically heavily involved with construction vehicles as hard to abate sectors. How do you support those vehicles from an infrastructure point of view, trying to refuel them when in the UK we don't have much refueling infrastructure to start with anyway? What's the plan long term? How do you support these projects and the transition for those fleets actually adopting the technology full time?
Yeah, so that actually leads us quite well into another R&D project that we've been involved with. In the past, we've produced vehicles, hydrogen technologies, but with this particular project, which is called Element 1, we've tried to look at a bit more of a whole picture, so providing a full solution. So that particular project is going to be the conversion of 4 excavators to dual fuel, but alongside that we are also producing a mobile hydrogen refueller, and the idea being that obviously excavators, they're referred to as non-road mobile machinery, and they're very limited in terms of their mobility, so we can't really have those vehicles going back and forth to a refueller. This is a refueller that takes the hydrogen directly to the excavator in this case and refuels. So we see this being a good option for construction, but also airside as well, as you have a lot of stationary applications that will need refueling. At the moment, those industries do a lot of refueling at the point in which they're used, and they're refueled via a diesel bowser. So we're basically trying to mimic that logistic process as best we can with a hydrogen refueler. So yeah, at the moment we're in the process of the build, and we're going to be testing later on this year, and hopefully that will be involved in the project at the back end of this year, early next year. So that'll be really interesting, and that was actually one of the projects where you guys at Pressure Check have provided quite a few of the components, very specific ones for that build as well.
Yeah, good. And when that sort of came across the office at Pressure Tech, and we spoke about the application and the project, it was always really exciting for us to understand that ULEMCo are looking at offering this almost a full turnkey solution, right? You're looking at the full hydrogen ecosystem, obviously not production, but getting the fuel to your actual projects and the vehicles that you're delivering, which is really good. So we're really happy to be helping with that. So this project that you're developing, it's going to be a hydrogen powered refueler in essence. Where does the hydrogen come into the vehicle, or where does the hydrogen come into the refueler?
So essentially the refueler will have the hydrogen dual fuel technology on there, so it'll still be a diesel vehicle but using hydrogen as part of the propulsion system. That obviously reduces the CO2 emissions. You don't really want a hydrogen refueling vehicle traveling around purely powered via diesel. And then the idea is the actual bowser or high tanker itself can be filled up at a refueling station, or even via an MCP that can be delivered onto the construction site or airside. So what we've tried to do is we've integrated a compression system on board, which is powered via the vehicle's PTO, and that allows us to compress the hydrogen to a high enough pressure to be able to fill the various vehicles to 350 bar without necessarily needing a high pressure refuel on the vehicle itself.
Okay, so it's really flexible in that sense then, right? So if you've got a refueling station nearby or a production station nearby, you can take the refueler on the road to that, take the hydrogen away at whatever pressure is nominal, take it over to your point of use, which is, it could be the aircraft tow vehicle or the excavators, and you'd refuel them, or alternatively you bring a tube trailer, like a 200 bar tube trailer, you can accept that, and then you can compress it up to what pressure? I mean, are these 350 bar vehicles, or are they 700 bar vehicles? What are they? So
the vehicles themselves are all 350 bar, but we are going to be storing at 450 bar on the high tanker, the refueler. As that just allows us to then cascade fill or balance fill, rather than needing to compress out to make sure that we get a full fill, because that'll obviously increase the duration of the refueling.
Yeah, okay. And I suppose there's other benefits that you can see here, you know, rather than these people on construction sites having to invest in high power electricity to build a static refueling station when the construction site is only meant to be there for a set period of time. You know, it's you bring on a mobile refueller, you refuel the vehicles, and once the construction site's gone, everything goes away, you're not leaving behind a refueling station. So yeah, so it makes sense, and I suppose it's something that the hydrogen sector globally needs to support the transition to hydrogen. So that's really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Our aim, again, like with the introduction of any of the technologies, is to try and make the logistic change as small as possible. Because obviously, over years of use in construction sites, the guys have become very efficient on how they refuel the vehicles, refuel the equipment. And the last thing we want to do is try and implement hydrogen and make them change all the work they've been doing. So we try and mimic their current logistic challenge or whatever as best we can.
Yeah, okay. No, that's really interesting. Thanks for that, Chris. Appreciate your time.
No worries. Thank you.